Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Real Talk English. I'm Tom. Today, you and I are going to walk through a full small talk journey. You will shadow me, answer questions, build your own responses, and learn how natural small talk works in real-life situations. This is not boring textbook English. It is real English. In every moment, I will give you space to speak. This is your practice. This is your voice. This is your progress. Let's begin. Okay, so the first scene is morning coffee shop. The day begins. The sun is still low, and we step into a busy, warm cafe full of sleepy faces and steaming cups. Here, 5 small talk moments naturally happen. Here's the first one. Long line this morning. Long line this morning. Now you try. Repeat after me. Long line this morning. Okay, so here 2 responses are possible. You could say, yeah, everyone seems to need coffee right now. Yeah, everyone seems to need coffee right now. Now you repeat. Yeah, everyone seems to need coffee right now. Or you could say, true, I didn't expect it to be this busy. True, I didn't expect it to be this busy. You're doing great. Now, to build your own answer, think about why the line might be long. Line means queue. You can think about what you need this morning or how you feel about waiting. You can mention that mornings are always crowded, or you could say that the smell of coffee makes the wait easier. Keep it light and friendly. It's only small talk. All right, here is the second small talk moment. The person ahead of us looks at the board and says, they changed the menu again. They changed the menu again. Now you repeat. Here, again, there are 2 responses. You could say, oh, really? I didn't even notice. Anything new? Oh, really? I didn't even notice. Anything new? Or you could say, yeah, they keep adding items. Hard to keep track. Yeah, they keep adding items. Hard to keep track. Okay, let's move on to the next small talk moment. Do you usually come here in the mornings? Do you usually come here in the mornings? Now you repeat. Do you usually come here in the mornings? Okay, so 2 responses are possible. You could say, yeah, this is my regular spot. What about you? Yeah, this is my regular spot. What about you? Or you could say, sometimes, depends on the day. What about you? Sometimes, depends on the day. What about you? Well done. Here is the next small talk moment. They make the best latte in town. They make the best latte in town. Now you repeat. They make the best latte in town. Now you could say, I agree, their coffee is really great. I agree, their coffee is really great. Or you could say, yeah, I've tried other places, but this one is my favorite. Yeah, I've tried other places, but this one is my favorite. Now you repeat. Yeah, I've tried other places, but this one is my favorite. All right, now we leave the cafe with warm cups in our hands and step outside into the morning air. The sky turns cloudy, people tighten their jackets and look up to check the sky. Here are some natural small talk moments. Here's the first one. Someone says to you, weather changed so fast today. Weather changed so fast today. You could say, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to get cold. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to get cold. Or you could say, I know, it was sunny an hour ago. I know, it was sunny an hour ago. Here's the next small talk moment. Looks like it might rain. Looks like it might rain. Now you repeat. Looks like it might rain. You could say, yeah, the clouds look pretty heavy. Yeah, the clouds look pretty heavy. Or you could say, I hope not. I didn't bring an umbrella. I hope not. I didn't bring an umbrella. Here's the next one. The person next to you says, this weather is so unpredictable. This weather is so unpredictable. You could say, tell me about it. It changes every hour. Tell me about it. It changes every hour. Or you could say, it's hard to know what to wear these days. It's hard to know what to wear these days. Here's the next one. Again, the person next to you says, perfect day for a warm drink. You could say, definitely. Days like this make hot drinks feel extra nice. Definitely. Days like this make hot drinks feel extra nice. Or you could say, yeah, I already had one this morning. Yeah, I already had one this morning. Here's the next one. The person next to you says, it felt like summer yesterday. It felt like summer yesterday. It felt like summer yesterday. You could say, I know, it's crazy how quickly it changed. I know, it's crazy how quickly it changed. Or you could say, yeah, yesterday was so warm. Today feels completely different. Yeah, yesterday was so warm. Today feels completely different. All right, now we walk into the lobby. We press the elevator button and step inside with a few other people. They are strangers, colleagues, or familiar office faces. Here, a couple of elevator small talk moments happen. The first one is simple. The person next to you says, heading up? Heading up? Now, two responses are possible. You could say, yeah, going to the 4th floor. You too? Yeah, going to the 4th floor. You too? Or you could say, sure, starting the day upstairs. Sure, starting the day upstairs. Here's the next small talk moment. The person next to you says, these elevators are always slow. These elevators are always slow. You could say, yeah, they take forever sometimes. Yeah, they take forever sometimes. Or you could say, true, I think they're older than the building. True, I think they're older than the building. So you could talk about waiting time, you could talk about daily experience, or humorous exaggerations. You can say you've gotten used to it, or joked that the stairs might be faster. Now we move on to the next small talk moment. The colleague next to you says, busy morning in the office. Busy morning in the office. You could say, a little, I have a few meetings today. What about you? A little, I have a few meetings today. What about you? Or you could say, yeah, it's one of those days.
Yeah, it's one of those days. Here is the next small talk moment. The person next to you says, I like starting early, feels quieter. I like starting early, feels quieter. You could say, yeah, I prefer early mornings too, more peaceful. Yeah, I prefer early mornings too, more peaceful. Or you could say, I wish I could start early, but I'm not a morning person. I wish I could start early, but I'm not a morning person. Here's the next one. The person next to you says, hope the day goes smoothly. Hope the day goes smoothly. Same here, fingers crossed. Same here, fingers crossed. Or you could say, yeah, I'm hoping for a calm day. Yeah, I'm hoping for a calm day. Okay, now the elevator doors open and we step out and walk toward the office kitchen. The office kitchen smells like tea, instant coffee, and microwaved soup. The first small talk moment is this. Your colleague says, already feels like a long day. Already feels like a long day. You could say, I know, busy morning for you? I know, busy morning for you? Or you could say, same here, and it's not even lunchtime. Same here, and it's not even lunchtime. Then your colleague says, I needed a quick break. I needed a quick break. You could say, yeah, sometimes a short break helps. Yeah, sometimes a short break helps. Or you could say, I get that, it's been a busy morning. I get that, it's been a busy morning. Then your colleague says, did you try the new tea they bought? Did you try the new tea they bought? You could say, not yet, is it good? Not yet, is it good? Or she could say, yes, I tried it yesterday, it's nice. Yes, I tried it yesterday, it's nice. Then your colleague says, feels colder inside today. Feels colder inside today. You could say, yeah, the air conditioning is strong. Yeah, the air conditioning is strong. Or you could say, I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me. Then your colleague says, do you want the last cookie? Do you want the last goodie? You could say, oh, thanks, sure, I'll take it. Oh, thanks, sure, I'll take it. Or you could say, no, you go ahead, I'm good. No, you go ahead, I'm good. Then we walk through a bright hallway. People pass quickly. Some smile, some nod, some speak. Here are some small talk moments. One of your colleagues says, haven't seen you around lately. Haven't seen you around lately. You could say, yeah, I've been busy with different projects.
Yeah, I've been busy with different projects. Or you could say, true, I've been moving between offices. True, I've been moving between offices. Your colleague might say, you heading to another meeting? You heading to another meeting? You could say, yeah, one more before lunch. Yeah, one more before lunch. Or you could say, unfortunately, yes, busy day. Unfortunately, yes, busy day. Then your colleague says, that was a productive morning. That was a productive morning. You could say, yeah, I feel like I actually got things done. Yeah, I feel like I actually got things done. Or you could say, true, it's nice when things go smoothly. True, it's nice when things go smoothly. Then one of your colleagues tells you, love your notebook, where did you get it? Love your notebook, where did you get it? You could say, oh, thanks, I bought it online. Oh, thanks, I bought it online. Or you could say, appreciate it, it was a gift from a friend. Appreciate it, it was a gift from a friend. Then your colleague says, the hallway's so quiet today. The hallway's so quiet today. You could say, yeah, maybe everyone's in meetings. Yeah, maybe everyone's in meetings. Or you could say, true, it feels unusually empty. True, it feels unusually empty. All right, then a meeting ends, people stand up, stretch their backs, collect their laptops, and move toward the door. There's a light, relaxed energy in the room. Meetings create easy small talk. Here are some natural moments. The first one is when your colleague says, that meeting went faster than I expected. That meeting went faster than I expected. You could say, yeah, I thought it would take much longer. Yeah, I thought it would take much longer. Or you could say, true, it was surprisingly quick today. True, it was surprisingly quick today. Then she says, I'm glad we finally made a decision. I'm glad we finally made a decision. You could say, yeah, it took a while, but we got there. Yeah, it took a while, but we got there. Or you could say, same here, it makes everything clearer now. Same here, it makes everything clearer now. Then you ask, did anything surprise you in that meeting? Did anything surprise you in that meeting? Your colleague could say, yeah, I didn't expect that new plan. Yeah, I didn't expect that new plan. Or she could say, a little, some comments were unexpected. A little, some comments were unexpected. Then she says, ready for a break after that? Ready for a break after that? You could say, oh yes, I definitely need a quick break. Oh yes, I definitely need a quick break. Or you could say, absolutely, that was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in. All right, then we head to a nearby cafe for lunch. It's busy, warm, and full of conversations. People stand in line studying the menu board. Here again, a couple of lunchtime small talks happen naturally. One of your colleagues says, everything looks good today. Everything looks good today. You could say, yeah, I can't decide what to order. Yeah, I can't decide what to order. Or you could say, I know, everything looks delicious. I know, everything looks delicious. Then you ask, have you tried their new sandwich? Have you tried their new sandwich? Your colleague could say, not yet, is it good? Not yet, is it good? Or she could say, yes, I had it last week, it's really nice. Yes, I had it last week, it's really nice. Then you say, this place is always packed at lunch. This place is always packed at lunch. Packed here means busy, full of people. So your friend could say, yeah, everyone seems to come here. Yeah, everyone seems to come here. Or they could say, true, it's a popular spot. True, it's a popular spot. Then she asks, what are you in the mood for today? What are you in the mood for today? You could say, well, something light, maybe a salad. Well, something light, maybe a salad. Or you could say, I'm thinking of getting something warm. I'm thinking of getting something warm. Then you say, I hope we find a table. I hope we find a table. Your colleague could say, yeah, it gets crowded around this time. Yeah, it gets crowded around this time. Or she could say, don't worry, people usually finish quickly. Don't worry, people usually finish quickly. So someone approaches and asks to share our table. Eating near strangers creates natural, polite small talk. And here are a couple of examples. The first one is the other person says, Mind if I sit here? Mind if I sit here? You could say, not at all, please go ahead. Not at all, please go ahead. Or you could say, sure, no problem, there's space. Sure, no problem, there's space. So in your answer, keep it friendly and welcoming. You can mention that the cafe is busy or that you're happy to share. Then they might say, this place gets busier every week. This place gets busier every week. You could say, yeah, I've noticed that too. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Or you could say, it really does. It's becoming very popular. It really does. It's becoming very popular. Then you could ask, do you work around here? Do you work around here? They could say, yeah, just a few blocks away. Yeah, just a few blocks away. Or they could say, yeah, my office is nearby. Yeah, my office is nearby. All right, my friends, now you have completed this small talk journey. You moved through cafes, offices, streets. You didn't just learn phrases, you lived them through your voice. You answered questions, created your own ideas, practiced natural reactions, and followed the rhythm of real English conversations. This is how confidence grows. This is how fluency builds. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Real Talk English. I'm Tom, and until next time, keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.